Here we go, guys. We're in the game, though. We'll see what they ended up banning. I just don't think there's a ban for Nidalee. There's just not enough room for a Nidalee ban. You can just play around it. And Curse, they almost won that last game. They just, you know, didn't quite have enough damage to deal with the Nidalee tanking in the front line. And just, you know, maybe a couple of missteps here or there.
So if you don't ban the Nidalee, then what do? We've seen Voidboy be, as we said before, very creative. As much as I'd like to see him play that Dash, I know it's not going to work out too well because he's super late game champ. And you saw that was an inhib down at the 20-minute mark. What in Voidboy's repertoire can we actually see him play against the Nidalee? Because it doesn't look like they're going to be banning it out.
Nah, it's Lee Sin, Shen, and Rengar most likely. You know, those are just the common bans against CLG. But you know, I think that maybe he thought that the Urgot would be effective. I know the Urgot, as the game progressed, they were able to pick off some quick kills there, and that was kind of what they hoped. But I don't know, maybe they'll go with more of an aggressive lane. Nidalee's pretty squishy early on, so if you have a you know, high kill potential laner, like they could go with like an Olaf or something like that. That does very well against Nidalee. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Voidboy's Olaf is very strong.
Yep, and actually, carbon copy of the bans, same exact
probably
bans.
A Cho for CLG.
Could be.
I mean, out of the junglers left, that's definitely probably Chalister's strongest, and you know, they can take that away from Curse.
That would be nice. That would be actually pretty convenient.
I'm curious though, what he's kind of been playing since the Season 3 kind of changes everything. Like, it's hard to go back on those old junglers and say that that's going to be the pick now.
I still remember even before it went up on beta. I remember like a developer or two saying that, like, you know, like Fiddlesticks, they're expecting to see him come back. They're expecting to see a lot more Warwick as the season progresses. Like, there's so many options available. But going with the support first, and we'll see CLG grab up Lulu.
Yeah, that's definitely a strong pick. Lulu is insanely strong, so they're not really coveting any of those other picks like Cho'Gath.
Yeah.
But Lulu as a support, that means that they could go with like a Vayne potentially. You know, Lulu gives them that backline protection, and we'll kind of see where they go with that. Ezreal being picked up definitely makes sense on Curse's end, and there's the Cho as well. So, you know, those are kind of the expected to be picks out of them. But we'll see where they go. A couple of options for CLG right now. I don't think they're going to pick the Nidalee right away, but they're probably going to pick a Mumu again. I mean, that worked out pretty well. The only concern is a Mumu versus Ezreal. But they want to have a jungler that can protect whatever Doublelift's doing on the AD carry. And so, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see what he picks. If he goes with like a Caitlyn, they don't... If Nunu's done, so they won't pick Caitlyn. I like the Corki pick, though, because he's actually... I know he's been playing Corki some recently. Wei Zhao rocking the Corki at IPL 5.
I think you know, Graves works very well here, too. And we have a very push-oriented bot lane. Then Graves, he'll be getting that stacked on the passive, and Lulu with that unrelenting harass.
Yeah, it's a common lane. Yeah. Like, it's the Graves-Lulu matchup. Especially if you go for a lane swap, then you can just push really quickly.
Right. And
just take the turret early. So... Graves going with the Amumu again, so they're comfortable with their team. They're just going to keep it pretty much the same. Switch up to a Lulu.
And
Lulu puts a little bit less pressure on Muffin Cutie. Muffin Cutie was kind of getting caught a little bit early on. He was burst down pretty quickly because Zyra's pretty squishy, but it was hitting in his skill shots very effectively later in lane. Lulu, on the other hand, is a very physical support, so he has that lane presence that you know, that'll help him.
Yep. I'm thinking about the support. I was thinking about Sona for elements. It's going to be the more standard pick. Not to say that Nautilus did terrible game number 1. Those were some clutch ultimates when they did come in. That was just that was it. That was a kill 100% secured. But at the very least, you know, just let's put the fun play onto the back end. Let's try to do something. Never mind.
Ooh,
Fiddlestick support would be, well,
yeah.
That's always a treat.
Elements has played it some in the past. It's very aggressive. It does very well against Lulu and Graves because of how short range they are. His silence is ridiculous.
Yes.
Like, it's so annoying playing against Fiddlestick's silence, and it gives them AOE for double lift that can like counter out the AOE that CLG has. And that's kind of why I thought they would go Gragas on Voidboy in the last game to have that AOE countering AOE, but in this game they go with the Fiddle. So, you know, that's really aggressive. The fear is just insanely strong, and CLG just going with the same team. So they're happy with it. You know, they like this team comp.
Yeah, that's it. It's just, subbing out the Zyra for the Lulu. That's it. They're just the exact same team. And I also do like Curse's strategy, though. They decided to pick their top lane last to confirm at the very least, that Hotshot will be going Italy. So at least gives them some time to prepare and mesh their team a little bit more about who they're going to be picking up top lane. And we talked about the options. Rengar still open. Olaf
yeah,
open.
that's true. Rengar wasn't banned. That's interesting. I forgot about that. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think Rengar, Olaf, or Gragas. It's in my mind, it's gonna be one of those 3 picks. I mean, I don't know. There's other options. There's so many viable top laners right now. Voyboy will play them all, but I don't know. We'll see what they kind of do. Gragas would be really nice for team fights against. It forces back a Mumu if they need to, or just to insta kill TF or Graves. That could be very strong, and we've seen him play that in the past. And also, it has AoE clearing to prevent that pushing. If it's a 2v1, Gragas can 2v1. But Olaf is, one of the best 2v1ers in the game. So that's definitely a big option as well.
Yeah, and if they did pick the Gragas here, they would have to. Whoa!
Oh God!
What?
So swapping it up.
That's well.
No, it's
not. Hold on a
Shaco.
second. Don't unhinge your pants for just a second. Just was it Kha'zix? Ooh,
So that's cool because we saw at IPL 5 the Kha'zix Katarina combo some.
Yeah.
Kha'zix has a lot of quick burst damage. It was from Fnatic, so basically Kha'zix is just he has so much burst damage and so much range. Graves is dead. Every single team fight, basically, Kha'zix is just going to be able to dive right onto Graves.
Right.
And then the goal is you get a quick kill. The previous game, they were struggling to pick up kills in team fights. But you jump in, you get a quick kill, you just insta-kill someone. Katarina gets a reset, Kha'zix gets a reset, and then you jump back out. Both of you jump back out, then you jump back in again for another kill. So it's a very cool, champion. He's so insanely strong now. I mean, his damage is absurd. If you guys haven't played Kha'zix or played against him, with the new items and Black Cleaver in particular, his damage is ridiculous.
And
there's literally nothing that Graves can do unless he goes health.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, there's a little bit of health in Black Cleaver, but
yeah,
I don't think
there's
it's going to be enough.
But I mean health like a Warmog's build Graves, which we've seen some in the past, but it's very unusual.
Yeah.
I mean, really what he needs is he just needs his team to protect him. The Lulu helps because Lulu has just so much burst heal with the shields. So the shields from Lulu are really going to be key in stopping that Kha'zix.
Yep. And so we did see a little bit of Kha'zix during IPL 5. Saw a little bit from Fnatic, a little bit from SGS also actually. So it wasn't the biggest secret in the world, but remember that was also on the right before all the Season 3 changes came in, and it turns out he was kind of like one of those big secrets, like right on the tail end, right before the Season 3 patch came in. It's like, guys, you may not know.
And he just hit a huge buff with the Season 3 patch.
Oh yeah, he did. He absolutely did. Even the pursuit capabilities with that movement speed buff to everybody, like that alone is huge.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I think sometimes people they try new champions because they think that in the next patch they're going to be good. I mean, Kha'zix was good in the previous patch, but we've seen some in the past. People will try champions because they're like, oh, the next patch he's going to be good. I might as well learn him now.
Right.
And then you just go, wow, why haven't I played this champion before? He's actually still good now. And I'm curious if there was a little bit of that with Kha'zix, but he's definitely a really strong champion. We'll see what they can do against him. If CLG, can get tanky enough to control that front line, that would be huge. But Curse just amped their damage up massively. I mean, CLG, if they catch Curse out of position or get a nice Amumu ult, everyone for Curse is going to almost instantly die because they're all really squishy. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Curse went a very high damage team, and that's what they like doing. They like going for those assassins. And
you also see the last possible second before the timer ticked down, Voyboy actually taking teleport flash. So that does worry me a little bit against someone like a Nidalee who has that strong pushing potential. Anyone with a teleport, or if you're facing up a Shen top lane, the biggest thing you can do is pressure other lanes, force out the teleport from top lane, force whoever's there to assist with the rest of your team, so you just have a nice minute or two of free farm, free push time for your top.
Well, Nidalee can keep that in mind, but there's no one forcing Voyboy's hand. I mean, he'll make the decision, see if it's valuable enough for him to lose his top lane.
Right, and but with Big Fat, once he hits 6, going all over the map, it could be worthwhile. It could be. We'll have to see.
Well, it's going to be a great pick. He doesn't need Ignite. He already has Kha'zix already has so much damage. He doesn't need Ignite. It allows them to do some cheese, or he doesn't even have to teleport out of lane. He can walk down to mid, try and pick up an insta kill onto TF or something like that, and then just teleport back up to top. 0-9 and 21 on elements, so you know, a lot of defense. You know, getting that armor on Fiddle is really important because he's very squishy early on.
And also with that teleport, you know, this is Voy Boy we're talking about here. We could be caught off guard once again with another back door if the opportunity arises. I will try. We will try our best. The first time that happened with that Rengar, we're just completely clueless. It's kind of funny actually. It's like, why are we moving over to next? Oh, it's Voy Boy. Oh.
Yeah, that's always an option there. Lifesteal. Oh, that's what I wanted to see.
I know you've been waiting for this.
I've been wondering if AD carries might start putting lifesteal into their quints, just because it's really good to go into the Vamp Scepter early on, but sometimes you just don't want to. Like sometimes it's not beneficial. So he does. Cop goes lifesteal in his quints, so you lose out a little bit of damage. He also has one single crit rune. Or 2 crit runes because they're blue, so not a lot out of the blue. It would be the same as if you had 1 rune in the red.
Yeah.
But he gets a little bit of crit too, which is funny. Once they removed the crit chance from the offensive tree, some people put that crit back in because a single crit in the laning phase can win you the game, or can win you your lane basically. So that's always a funny thing. But that lifesteal is going to be really strong. He goes some health as well and some mana regen. So mana regen's been popular on Ezreal for a while now. It gives him that spam ability, but the lifesteal is definitely pretty interesting since Lulu and Graves, they don't have it inherently, and he can try and harass. Fiddle in particular can harass them down, just bully them, and then Cop can slowly heal back up, and Fiddle can slowly heal back up in order to win the sustain lane. Yeah,
because old masteries it was 3%, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so 2%. It's almost there. It's
he's at 0.5%.
It's half.
Oh, are you talking about the lifesteal?
Lifesteal.
Oh yes,
yeah.
The lifesteal was
3%. What was the old? What was the old crit thing? How much did that give you?
That was about 3%.
It was about 3%. Yeah. So, but even then, still, like, as long as you have crit chance on your character, just as long as you have it, it's eventually going to happen.
It's just, it's stupid. It really is stupid. When you used to have crit on AP carries mid, and it was in the offensive masteries, it was just so annoying to go mid lane against an AP carry and they crit on you, and you're like, why did you just crit? You're not an AD carry. But it was, it was the way it was designed, and we'll see where they go. So starting off, CLG versus Curse. Curse has swapped sides. We'll make sure we get the overlay this time. Actually, I forgot it in the previous game, but I don't know. We'll see what both these teams try and do here.
Yep. And also, conveniently enough, Elements rocking the new Fiddle skin. Nia Jacky rocking the new Katarina skin. So, at the very least, it's good. It's good to be festive, It's always
good to be the king. And right now, you actually see CLG is going down for that bot lane. So both teams going for the blue. CLG taking the long way around. And, we'll see if they can get in. They'll get in pretty easily. But no wards from either team. Nidalee drops a trap, but it wasn't procced by anyone. So they're safe. They drop a ward. And we'll see where they go with that. It is actually a minute ward, or it's a full 3-minute ward. So not, there it goes. There's not the Explorer's ward. But they just drop a ward, they back off. They're going to try and get back to their own blue now and make sure they can deny that blue from Chelster.
Yep, man, pause coming on out. Hopefully it's nothing too terribly long. And a little bit of a different build here from Cop. We saw both the ADs game number 1 go for the longsword 1 potion. But Cop looking to go old style. He actually has the boots 3 this time around. But when you're going up, when Elements lands that fear, when he lands that silence, he needs to close the gap.
Yeah.
Remember, fear. You can't predict where someone's going to be running around with the fear. You need to be able to catch up. You need to be able to close that gap.
Yeah, and
stack on more damage.
It allows him to get in quickly, but it allows him to position around Lulu a little bit more easily because Lulu's strength as a support is attacking the enemy AD carry. Lulu has a lot of damage. So Cop, if he can position, he's going to try and circle around Lulu where he's constantly dealing damage to double lift, but just barely out of range of Muffin Cutie, and that'll allow him to win that trade there. They might actually just walk right into this. It's a 4v5. Nidalee's not there, and CLG, they're going to see them in this ward. So they take a long way around the missing shot. They see the missing shot. They know they're coming down into the red. We'll see if CLG responds.
And I think they're more than happy just sitting on here, because at the very least, if they could just trade buff for buff. Granted, it's not going to be an even trade. It's going to be a red for a blue. Teemo, Cookie. Actually, I think it's just outside the brush, unfortunately. placed out there. But CLG still staying the course, still camping out the one brush.
They have to know they're at their blue right now. They haven't checked their blue. Curse is actually going in for it now. They realize they're at the blue, but it's a 4v4. They're walking into him.
Out in front, gold card, catching Katarina. Does flash over the wall. Ignite still taking. We'll see if she dies. St. Fish is getting away. Element's taking a whole bunch of damage. And miraculously enough, Jackie does not die in that exchange, but that is still a blue forfeited over to CLG.
Yeah, so they do lose the blue. They almost went down. I mean, that was scary.
Yeah, it was really
not
scary.
Having some of their laners there with them. But I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like they had to have known they were either in that bush or the blue bush.
Yeah.
So for Zyra to walk out and lead that was very very scary for them. But the interesting thing. I'm sorry for Cat to lead that.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that. I mean, they saw the blue. They walked past their own red, so they know they're not there. They walked to the enemy red. They know they're not there. So there was literally only one possible spot for them to be, and they almost blew it. Yeah. But they are safe now, and they'll be able to control this lane. And again, those boots, they will lose 1v1 situations. The damage on Graves and Lulu is stronger. They have to keep that in mind. But the positioning advantage can be enough to allow them to win that exchange.
Yeah, and not even the one-on-one, the 1v2 here as we're waiting for Elements to actually get back into lane, because he was helping out with the red buff there top. So he'll be back here in a second. Cop has managed to get some solo experience for himself at the very least. And there's Elements. He's back to the party. Still only level 1 Cop now, dinging 3. So he's actually got a little bit of an experience lead since he wasn't splitting with the support.
Yeah, so he's just pushing his way in. Doublelift already taking some damage, already out of both of his health pots. And now that's the scary part. There's the silence. The fear and the silence from Fiddlesticks are so ridiculously strong. And it's so safe, too, because you throw off the silence, and Graves won't be able to do anything. He can't respond, especially if he gets the double here. If he gets it to bounce underneath those turrets, they have to back off. So Element's trying to see if he could get it. But they do pressure them back, and they're already really winning this lane. Doublelift in a really dangerous spot here.
Top lane, Amumu caught way too far deep in enemy territory. St. Vicious finds him over at the
He's not caught. He's going for it.
He's trying. St. Vicious. He's still pursuing. Voidboy leaps over the wall. Chaucer does flash. Will he at least take St. Vicious with him? Who's going to go down first? Will go first blood credit over to Chaucer, but still an assist credit onto the Cho'Gath. So you still have a little bit of a gold lead there, actually, for CLG for getting that extra first blood credit.
Well, the first blood, it helps out Chaucer, but Voidboy's in a great spot in that top lane, and that's not worth it. Getting the double buff when he's already going to be able to win that lane. Nidalee doesn't have enough damage early on, but now with that double buff, he can really be aggressive there. Doublelift forced back, and so he's going to miss out on some CS. Cop, just continues to pull ahead. It's actually just a small advantage right now, but we'll see how that grows as it progresses.
Yep. And you see Amumu did go into the, this is a Soulstone, correct? I can't remember. Try to figure out the name.
No, it's Spirit Stone.
Spirit Stone. Soulstone, stone, rock, thing. Close enough. Which is actually pretty common on more like the utility-based junglers like Amumu and Maokai and the like. So it's good. And at the very least, with some of that first blood gold, you're able to get that much quicker.
Yeah, and it builds off the machete. It gives him that fast clearing speed. But we'll see what happens. Oh, he gets the Mystic Shot, so misses a couple of bounces there, but still some slow harass. Now with that spell vamp or that lifesteal, that's going to be really huge for Doublelift. He can try and counteract some of the damage from Cop, and Cop, because he hasn't gone back, he's a little bit behind. He didn't want to go back. He wants an advantage over Doublelift. He wants to keep that level lead, but he is so he does have a full level advantage, but he's behind on items. So Doublelift and Muffy could maybe push back a little bit.
Yeah, the sustained war will eventually be won by Doublelift since he's got the Vamp Scepter. While Cop is only just running around in circles faster.
Particularly now, you see they can push them under the turret because since Cop is low on items, they know that they're not quite as scared about Elements and Cop diving them or trying to get some quick damage. So they can start pushing them under the turret, deny farm, and that's also going to prevent Cop from going back. So by pushing into the turret, they're denying farm, and then Cop can't leave the lane. He's going to be stuck there for a while.
Kha'zix, Voidboy jumping in on a hot shot for quite a fair amount of damage, brings him down to below half, and that is the damage capability of Kha'zix right there. Jackie jumping in, getting a little bit of harass on the Big Fat, but both of these mids very close to hitting 6. You'll have huge damage from Katarina. You'll have the teleport coming in from TF, but there's a Mumu off on the side laying in wait, possibly thinking St. Vicious will be showing up soon. But there is Big Fat going in for the stun and flashes out of there. The Ignite will be more than enough to take out the Katarina, but now is a jungle fight here. Here's the teleport coming in. Kha'zix, Voyboy thinks he can get this kill. I hope he does, because otherwise the teleport will be wasted. Rupture, keeping Chowster still. They're still tanking the turret. Voyboy, can he get out of there? No, St. Vicious stunned underneath the turret. Chowster still lives.
Yeah, quick turnaround from CLG. Really surprising. I thought that Voyboy had enough damage, but he almost went down, so that's pretty brutal. If St. Vicious had actually tanked first, St. Vicious would have guaranteed his death, but they also would know they would have gotten a kill. But still, you know, an uneven exchange, CLG takes advantage there. Element's very low. This is one of the dangers of Fiddle. He gets the fear underneath. He's actually going to go down. Double lift.
Wow.
Barely going down. Elements with a great play there, but Fiddlesticks is very squishy and has no escapes other than his fear. So they're able to chase him down, pick up that kill, but the fear still under the turret. He just barely didn't get out of that turret range. Really great play from Elements.
And yeah, whenever you can trade, if you trade your support for their AD, that is still winning in your favor, because that's time the AD does not have in lane. Granted, yes, there was still the assist on CLG, but I think the net loss of not having your AD in lane is that much greater.
But the kill on the AD, the kill on the AD
also true
is well worth it.
Also
you know,
true.
he went down, he missed out a little bit of time, but he really didn't miss out on that much farm. It just allows Cop to push back a little bit. He's going to take these golems anyway. So really he missed out on nothing, and he got the kill, he got that gold. So that's definitely worth it for double. Like, there's no question that he came out ahead on that. But it was just Elements, you know, getting the kill, it made it a little bit more even. So we'll see what goes on. Big Fat, he's around that point in time. Same thing with Nijaki, where they both want to start roaming. But you saw in the previous game, they kind of held each other mid a lot just because of their pushing potential.
Voyboy being pushed in a little bit. He's a little less rambunctious considering what happened there in the mid. He also doesn't have his teleport up for at least another about 3 minutes or so. So he's just going to have to just step up in top lane and just eke it out. And allowing the minions to push in. Hotshot getting some free damage also from range. Mumu hanging around mid. You got St. Vicious on Shogath. He's going to be possibly making a visit to top lane soon as soon as he finishes up those small golems. And a lot of pings actually going down bot lane. I think, is TF going to be looking to teleport soon? He may very well, because you do see Ezreal and Fiddlesticks. They're pushed up a little bit into a little bit too far down lane.
Well, Charles just coming in for it. He's going to get in behind him, and Elements is almost assuredly dead.
Yeah, as long as Chester gets something, anything, he could flash ult. That's what he's going to do. Elements melts immediately before he can really do much besides a quick silence. And when you're in a tough situation like that, when you're already stunned, the silence not going to be stopping auto attacks. That's one thing silence cannot stop.
Yeah, that's a pretty guaranteed kill. Double Lift actually didn't get it. The AoE clear from Cop, it's actually going to defend this turret pretty effectively, but they're still going to get some damage, and we'll see how that kind of trades. I do think it's interesting, Cat and TF both coming down, maybe try and force this, but just back off. I do think it's interesting, Hotshot's builds that we saw in the previous game and then in this game as well. A lot of times in the past, you know, you kind of expected to see like double Dorans into a Phage and that aggressive AD build, but Hotshot's been going with a really defensive build, so he doesn't take much damage. He knows that, you know, he wants to trade and just use his heal. He has a lot of damage in Cougar form, and so it just protects him. It allows him to know that he's not going to die and slowly win this lane against Voyboy.
Yeah, and to an extent, like, the item build is very similar to someone like Aurelia, where the only damage you need is in Trinity Force. After that, you're pretty much set for life. You can just tank up and build defensive the entire time. TF, coming in, Nijaki flashing over the wall. Flash for an ultimate. So at the very least, Big Fat will not be doing any long distance traveling for the next few minutes.
Yeah, so they do back off. Nijaki barely getting out of there, but that's to CLG's advantage once again, missing out on that flash. It's going to force Katarina to commit, but we'll see what happens out of it. Hotshot able to grab this top turret, so 3K gold advantage already, and that's really big for Double Lift in particular down that bottom lane. He's now almost even with Ezreal, but getting the kill advantage and getting those turrets as well will allow him to get in his build very quickly, and he is going for that Brutalizer build once again, which is very strong early on in the game.
Yep, and we'll see that pretty soon. Meanwhile, Hotshot staying the course here top lane. It's what he likes to do, and this is literally one of his favorites. We've seen it in the rune page too, and when you see something like split in one of his masteries, or in his rune pages, it's a pretty good indicator of what he's going to be continuing to do for the most of the game. So we'll see how far he progresses in the next few minutes. And Mumu going back to his own jungle, checking up over onto the blue buff, and he also got TF actually pushed pretty aggressive here in the mid. But we may see St. Vicious. Is he going to visit? He has no choice, because right now Voidboy is way too low. He has to back off. Someone needs to defend his turret.
Well, Hotshot's winning the 1v1 now, and he's going to win 1v1 against any champion in the game, and that's going to allow him to split push. And that's really the strength of going that defensive build, is the fact that he can 1v1 anyone, not die, and just really be aggressive. And so now he's free farming. Like, there's just nothing they can do. He has a 30 CS advantage over Voidboy in that top lane. The key is going to be getting Voidboy involved. He still has that kill, so he's a little bit ahead in gold there. He has the Brutalizer. That'll be very strong. TF's porting in, though. It looks like, no, he's actually going to back off. Yep. There was the ping. He might have gone in for it, but we'll see what they can do up in this top lane. That
is the fear every time he moves out from the lane. Hotshot caught out. So now he maybe pull 1v1, but how does he fare in a 2v1? That's the thing, though. It's Nidalee. You have the pounce. You can leap away, especially over terrain like that. Just gets out of there. That's a nice touch too to that Katarina skin. All the daggers whenever these spell effects. I think it actually has like mistletoe on the bottom.
Mistletoe, which he uses abilities?
Yeah, like wait for her to use the blade. I think like because you still have that effect on the minions. I think there's mistletoe at the end of it. It's kind of
cool.
Kind of neat.
All right, yeah, I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
But, you know, so far Hotshot's been putting a lot of pressure. Yeah, they're little mistletoe. That's lovely. But I don't know, it's going to be tough for them to deal with that split push once again, and that's going to open up TF to do some damage. But I really would expect Curse to try and start pressuring this bot lane in particular, because Double Lift, by going with that Brutalizer build, he has a lot of damage, but he's very squishy. And not going for the Dorans, like that was always why people went to the Dorans early on. It gives you, damage, it gives you, some vamps, lifesteal as well. But the big thing was the health, so you don't die instantly. This is a squishy Graves. We haven't seen AD carries this squishy in a while, so we'll see if they can pick him off. They could drop him down really quickly.
Yeah. Now we've seen AD's the squishy. Also, a lot of the supports actually got very squishy too. I mean, we had the
without the Heart of Gold.
Yeah, without the Heart of Gold, and now with the other nerfs to the top tier supports like Blitzcrank and Sona, they're that much squishier too. So it's a rough life down bot lane, needless to say. Mid tier 1 gonna be going down big fat, piling on the damage, a little bit of help from Chowster, helping zone out the rest of Curse. So top tier 1 gone, mid tier 1 gone, bot tier 1 cannot be in that great of shape, and Hotshot is just getting free shots on his turret. Rupture on the Chowster, and both silence onto Mumu and TF, but you can't last forever. Jackie looking for the ultimate, but nice stun to keep him still. Chowster with the ultimate, keeping Jackie behind. Rupture popping him up, but there is the teleport from Voidboy. May be too late. Yes, it is way too late. And there's TF with the ultimate.
He's
got
low
the yellow
in mana
card
too.
primed. Where's the stun? Leaps away, but the yellow card still follows. Nice. Another kill for CLG here in mid.
CLG's running away with this now. Curse, with some nice pressure early on. But Chowster, I'm a little surprised he didn't get his ultimate on both Cat and Cho. But they were able to pick up the kill regardless. So a really nice play from them. They're pushing down the turrets. There's the bot turret goes down, but they're really taking out the mid one. Elements, he's too squishy at this point. He goes for the Philo Stone and for the cages, which is a little bit surprising. It makes him incredibly squishy. Hotshot drops the turret even through the damage. There's just not enough right now, and he's chasing down Saint. He has the slow. There's the kill. He picks it up, and CLG bullying them around. But I think that's really interesting to note that Elements has gotten Philosopher's Stone and Cage's Lucky Pick, because Philosopher's Stone, even before, you usually wanted to go Heart of Gold first on most supports so that you'd be tanky. Now that the Heart of Gold's gone, everyone's going for the Sight Stone so you can get that health. Elements just ignores it. And he's been doing a really nice job in that bot lane, but in team fights, he's going to drop so quickly. Even if he ults on people, he's not going to do anything. They're just going to kill him before he can do anything. And that's kind of a scary prospect, particularly since his level 6 ult isn't that great anyway.
Well, I think that's something he acknowledges. He knows the character he's playing.
Who are they going for, though?
I don't think any amount of health would really be helping him, escape from getting caught. It's such a middle part. He knows, and it's a bit of a he's devoting for it. Double lift and Muffin Beauty finding out Cop as he's trying to retreat, blows the flash and the cleanse, cannot make it out of there, and Double Lift still grabs that kill from the AD ambush down bot.
Yeah, really impressive play there. Just waiting. It was very patient. I thought they might have been able to get him sooner. Hotshot actually jumps over the wall after Elements.
Nice
the fear gets him out of there. But he still has a lot of damage. Elements is in a tough spot here. Just backs off.
Yeah.
But Yeah, they wait until, rather than chasing him, where Cop would have a long vision range and be able to arcane shift down into the river and maybe run away, they wait for him to to run back up where he walks right in range of them before he realizes, and they're able to take him down. So really nice play. I do think it's interesting, though. I mean, look at the builds we're seeing. CLG, they're just so far ahead right now. 7k gold. Chalster is incredibly tanky. He goes the Sunfire Cape and another Giant's Belt, so he's a monster. TF has the movement speed and Lich Bane. You know, the Black Cleaver on Graves we had talked about. But one of the cool things, I think, with Nidalee, and I think maybe Hotshot had just realized after watching Stanley from the Season 2 Championships, is he's not going for damage early. And used to see Hotshot and AD Nidalees always go for Triforce in the beginning because they just thought, if I don't get damage, if I don't get that Triforce, I'm not going to have enough damage, I'm not going to do enough in team fights. But what we saw Stanley do, he would go for Spirit Visage, he would go for Chalice, and he would just use the base damage from Nidalee in order to win those fights, so he doesn't need the Triforce.
Boy leaps in, tried to get a quick catch on the Hotshot, but realizes the point is moot. Big Fat and Hotshot still off on the side. The teleport is up on TF, so we'll see if he looks for an engage. But all of Curse at the moment, falling on back, recognize they can be sandwiched with that card man popping up behind them. Chester also off on the side. Nice ward over the wall from Element. Does the right call because that bandage toss can come in from that angle, and that could just open up and peel Curse out completely before they ever have a chance to get back to their mid-tier 3. But Hotshot back up top lane, doing what he does best, and that tier 2, it's gonna be made quick work of. And boy, he'll whoa. I forgot Kha'zix can do that.
Yeah, Kha'zix has so much damage. There's a TF port. Cop dropping very quickly the bandage toss.
Nice CC chain.
And I was actually about to mention, Curse has been on the defensive this entire game. They have an assassin team, but they haven't been making any plays. They need to get together and just try and insta-kill someone with Kha'zix, and they haven't had those opportunities. He's been stuck top because Nidalee is split pushing so aggressively because Hotshot's able to keep him up top. Voyboy's stuck top, and you look at it. Look at the CS advantage. Voyboy versus Hotshot. Hotshot's winning that lane handily, and by keeping Kha'zix top, it's prevented Curse from really being able to make any plays to try and snowball this game, which is what they wanted to do with their team.
Yep, and we talked about the teleport from Voyboy before too, and from the times we've seen it, he's gotten really no gain off of leaving top lane. He's just there. He just couldn't make a difference in the fight. He couldn't grab that kill, or he shows up too late and decides not to cancel it. We haven't been seeing as much optimal use of the teleport as we'd like to see.
I think the times that it was used, though, I mean, they wanted to try and get those kills, but yeah, they weren't very successful in that manner. You know, it's just they haven't had opportunities because CLG's been very safe. CLG's done a very effective job of keeping vision of Curse and not allowing them any opportunities. And now, you know, CLG's just bullying into their base, just slowly wearing them down. And Curse hasn't made much of a fight back. You know, it's been an even game. Curse is still trying to farm. They're trying to make sure that they have enough gold where they can, you know, just have that one good team fight, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for to have enough gold to have one good team fight where they pick someone off and maybe get some kills. They still can't do it though. Yeah. Hotshot just running away there, even when he seemed to be caught out of position.
Yeah, that's the thing though. The opportunity is gone. I was like, well, you want to want to sit back, you want to get your gold, but look how much more gold CLG has over you. It's a 10K advantage that CLG has gotten for themselves. Curse has yet to get their first
he missed.
Tower. The Curse Cop will melt to double lift here, but doesn't even get out. And there you go. Voyboy, can you make use of his teleport? Can you get this kill? Double still has plenty of damage within him and will be able to 1v1 the Kha'zix also. Elements caught over on the side. The TF ult finding him out over the wall. Hotshot with a spear. Can he get the kill on Nightjackie before he gets back to the fountain? Flash forced to use the spear, jukes right out of the way. And that is 4 kills from CLG all over the map. I don't think there's really anything Curse can do at this point.
Double lift in that bottom lane. Really impressive play, but honestly, it was kind of a misplay by Curse because Cop, he missed the ultimate when double lift was just standing there. Double lift, I mean, just, you know, narrowly avoided it.
That's it.
But he missed the ultimate, and then Kha'zix, when he came down, double lift sidestepped and forced Voyboy to miss his damage as well. And if Voyboy had just been a little bit safer and not, rather than trying to just instantly burst him down, had played it a little bit slower, more conservatively, he would have been able to get the damage, pick up that kill. But they know that they're done. CLG, you know, really impressive play, able to take advantage of that game.
That was very impressive. incredibly impressive. Just a stomp. The game too was just an absolute.
Hotshot Nidalee GG's back.
Pretty much now with a fancier new model.
Yeah, no, it's very strong, and I think that's the key. People are realizing you don't need to get damage early on. Nidalee, you just use the base damage. You just get tanky enough to survive in lane. You play more of a lane style, and then in team fights, once you get tanky enough, you can just bully out the 80 carry. So really cool play. Really impressive play all around from CLG. Curse making some efforts, but the second game in particular, just not finding their opportunities, even though they had these really cool burst assassin champions. So CLG is able to take the win.
And with that, CLG takes the win. $500, the NA Royale champs for now, and we'll see what all these teams have to offer now going into next year for Season 3. And you know what? This is actually it for us for the year. So how about this? How about this? Before we sign out for the year, one match, like one game for the entire year that we've been here at IPL. If you had to pick one.
Oh, I thought you were going to say let's get a ranked game going, because I'd be down for that.
Well, actually we can do that. Actually, we might be able to do that.
We might do that.
We might do that. Well, we'll confer with Nick and Trevor first. But what was like your #1 game for the year?
Honestly, probably Fnatic versus World Elite Game 1 of the losers finals or winners finals, because I was able to cast with Freak, which was just a pleasure. It was a lot of fun casting with him. It was great, and it's pretty close to my mind. And it was one of my favorite games of the tournament. It was some cool play from Fnatic. They had the bait down bot. If you guys haven't seen it, Fnatic was being very aggressive with Evelynn, and they knew that World Elite was starting to counter it out. World Elite was starting to get some counter initiations going, and they baited it bot. Evelynn and Shen went down bot to try and get a kill, and World Elite, their entire team collapsed on him. And it was like, wow, this is a great play from World Elite. But then you look up and you're like, but wait a second. That was all a ruse. It's a 16-minute Baron by Fnatic, and they completely threw them for a loop, and it was really impressive to see that. So I really liked that game. I mean, there's been a lot of really great games. Yeah,
there's been a lot of great stuff. Like even like games that we never showed. Like not even just from IPL5, just from other tournaments. Like just sitting in a booth. If I had to pick one, I'm actually going to go way back. I'm actually going to go to IPL4 qualifiers, when we had then Mono versus M5. Like the big things, like holy crap, Monomaniacs, these kids.
You're going to pick a ping delay game as your #1 game of the year?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I will, because let's face it, M5 during that game, they didn't pick the most ping-friendly champs. It was kind of a misplay on their end. And but to see like a young team like that now dynamic, and they're still doing very well for themselves. I love when I love those emerging games. When you first see these teams for the first time and realize these guys are going somewhere. Like that was it for me.
No, that is cool. That was like the first game where we were like, Mono's a real team, and no one knew about them. No one gave them any credit at that point in time. And, it was cool to see.
Right.
So that was definitely very cool to see. But thanks, guys. It's been a great year. 2012 for League of Legends has been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of great tournaments. Make sure to tune in when we come back. We're actually, I think next week we might have our Riot Season 3 qualifiers. So we're doing qualifiers for teams to go and compete in the Riot qualifiers to try and get in Season 3. So the top 2 teams from that will be able to get into the Season 3 qualifiers. So really impressive. But otherwise, enjoy I Am Cologne and enjoy TSM, their finals.
And then when we have our matches next week, I think actually we may have Nick and Torch casting a few of those next week. So be sure to tune in, give them some support, because they're still going to be here in the office and for a few more days at the very least. But yeah, I think we're good. We're good for the year. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us for Royale. Thanks for watching all year. Have a great holiday. Have a good New Year. If you're of age, don't get too crazy drunk. And if you're going to be doing that, don't play solo queue in that state either. That's always bad. I
don't know. That's just a recipe for a good time.
But good time with friends.
Right.
Good time with friends. So Alo, don't ever say that. Alo, what are you doing to us? But thanks guys for joining us this year. We will see you guys once again.